These Clorox wipes are seriously destroying my hands. But you know what else they're doing? Dramatically reducing the risk of transmission of COVID-19, something we take extremely seriously. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison for Digital Trends, and this is our socially distanced review of the LG Gallery Series G10 or GX OLED. Yes, they're using the Roman numeral. Anyway, if you haven't checked out the unboxing and basic setup video for this TV, you might want to do that. We've got it linked up here and also down in the description. Dan came in by himself, set up the TV so that I could swoop in and check it out for a few days before publishing this review. Not only do we go through some of the settings that you're going to want to make adjustments to in the television, we also take a look at some of what's unique about the TV, but maybe most importantly, we also show you how we're going to great lengths in order to socially distance and keep everything clean so that we are not risking any transmission of the nasty virus. Once this blows over, life is going to go back to normal, and buying new TVs are not only fun, but I think it's something to look forward to, and that's something we could all really use right now. So with that, let's dig into this TV. So the thing about the Gallery series, or G series, is that it bridges a gap between the much more affordable C series and the ridiculously expensive wallpaper series. The big new thing for this TV is its no gap, no shadow wall mount, which is what LG calls it. And as a matter of fact, this TV does not come with legs. And really, it shouldn't, because there's no point in putting legs on this TV. We had to, because we're not going to be able to mount it on the wall here in this office. But this is really meant to be mounted on the wall, and that's part of what makes this TV so special. So aside from the no gap wall mount, which is super slick, I mean, this TV is very thin and it looks great up on the wall. What else is different about the Gallery series over, say, the C10 series? Well, not a whole lot, actually. It does have ATSC 3.0 built in, so it's built for the next generation of broadcast television, and that's going to unite web-based entertainment with over-the-air entertainment in a way we've never seen before. It's a little ahead of its time. I don't think we're going to see much deployment in 2020. Probably most of it will come in 2021, but there's a little bit of future-proofing there, at least to the point that you can future-proof a TV, right? The other thing that it has that the C10 does not is hands-free voice assistant. So there is a microphone in the TV, and if you turn it on, you have to opt in, you can say, "Hi, LG," and it'll wake up and do your bidding via voice control. So there's really not a huge difference outside of the aesthetics between the Gallery series and the C10 OLEDs. But that doesn't mean that there's not plenty of new stuff coming to LG OLEDs this year. We'll start with the Alpha 9 Gen 3 processor. Now, I know processing is not super sexy, but that processor has everything to do with how this TV looks. And it's not a huge or quantum leap forward in terms of generational improvements over Gen 2, but it does have some slick new algorithms in there, some new lookup tables to refine color, to minimize noise, to reduce banding with low bitrate content. It's everything that LG's OLEDs were last year, but amped up just a little bit. I don't think that it's going to make a huge difference for a lot of viewers, but these incremental improvements just up the ante every single year. So what else is new? Well, mostly it's user interface improvements. So WebOS got an overhaul. It's a little less childish than it used to be before, and it relies a lot less on the old black and red scheme that it had in the past. So you've got higher contrast menu items. It's just a little bit more pleasant to use. Also, we've got a new home dashboard here, which puts mobile device control, all of your inputs in one place, sound output options, and home IoT device management. So if you want to connect smart locks and power drapes and insert your smart device here, you can manage it all from this home dashboard and with voice control. Also slick is sports alerts. So I know there's no sports going on right now, but there will be eventually. And when there are, you can put in your favorite sports team and get alerts through the TV when they're playing, when they've scored, and what the final score is. It also links out to quick highlight reels for the game that just passed. Very, very cool for sports fans. In the smart TV realm, it's very connected. It supports Siri, but Google Assistant is built in and actually picks up where the LG Assistant leaves off. That's similar to what we've seen in prior years. It also supports HomeKit and Apple AirPlay 2 right out of the box. So if you're an iOS user, that's going to be pretty handy. Also, not sure why you would want to do this, but you can use the TV as a Bluetooth speaker if you want to. More importantly, it can send audio out via Bluetooth to Bluetooth headphones or a Bluetooth soundbar. And even though the sound on this TV is decent, if you're going to spend this much money, I definitely recommend at least a sound bar, maybe even a full-on home theater system. Now, before we move into picture quality, which is what I know you're all here for, I do want to mention that I did not calibrate this TV for the purpose of this review. Generally, I don't. Most people don't get their TVs calibrated, and you really want to see what kind of picture quality you can get out of the provided picture modes, and there are some extra cool ones in this TV this year. We will, however, be calibrating this TV later on down the line when we pit it up against the Sony A8H OLED and Samsung's top-of-the-line QLED TV, so you'll want to stick around for that. One thing that is interesting about this TV is that it does have an auto calibration mode, so you still got to have the gear to do it, a colorimeter, CalMan, in order to do this, but it makes the process much, much easier. Also, there is a slick new camera profile that works with OLED TVs like this one that have a white subpixel. So we're going to be able to get some really cool measurements out of this TV down the line. Definitely you want to stay tuned to the channel for that. Now, how about that picture quality? Well, folks, it really shouldn't come as any surprise at all that it looks absolutely fantastic. It's an OLED after all, and every time I see one, I am reminded how much impact true deep black has. And the fact that there is no halo around objects on that black background makes a stunning impression. Outside of all the benefits that really great contrast gets you from coming from pure black, the colors look really great on this TV as well. And LG has improved low luminance performance, so we're seeing better shadow detail from this TV than we have in prior OLEDs. That's a big deal for a lot of people, I know. Out-of-box performance is just great with several of the modes, which is awesome. So we used to start with cinema, and that is still a really great starting place. You get warm picture quality. It does reduce the brightness of the TV just a little bit, but you can always fix that by bumping up the OLED light if you want to. But I think it gets the color temperature right, which is really important. Then we have the ISF calibrator modes. There's a dark and a bright room mode. This disables the motion smoothing efforts. You don't get soap opera effect. And in general, it's just a really well done mode to start from. And then this year, of course, we do have filmmaker mode, which is intended to represent the artist's intentions. And it does a good job. In SDR, it maxes out at about 100 nits. So you're going to find that filmmaker mode is really intended for folks who are watching the TV in a completely blacked out room with no lights on. I love the purist attitude with the filmmaker mode, but honestly, if you start with ISF calibrated bright or dark room, I think you're in a really great place already. This TV does HDR extremely well. It supports almost all the HDR modes with the exception of HDR10+, but it does have processing built in that does essentially the same thing. So you're getting Dolby Vision and hybrid log gamma and HDR10 for all the HDR content that's out there. What an impression this TV makes. Now again, it's very similar to last year. The picture quality has not seen any dramatic improvements, but the incremental improvements are appreciated nonetheless. I think the real game changer here is actually for games. This TV supports a new standard for gaming that basically allows the source component to control the rendering of HDR and color, or the TV can do it. You have options there. So depending on what you connect to this TV, and I think we're going to see some really cool things out of the PS5 and the new Xbox that hopefully will come out later this year, this TV is going to be armed for it. Also, auto low latency mode, VRR, and G-Sync. There's no other TV that supports both right now, so that's a feather in LG's cap. I mean, this TV is basically just equipped to do anything and do it extremely well. This is the TV to beat. And when I say this is the TV to beat, I mean LG's 2020 OLEDs in particular are the TVs to beat this year. They are loaded with more features than virtually anybody else. LG's approach to picture quality rendering lends itself to a really, really poppy picture, whereas Sony tends to lay back a little bit on the HDR highlights. But if we turn our attention to whether you should be buying the Gallery series of OLEDs this year, that really comes down to aesthetics. It's all about that wall mount. If you're going to be putting this on a stand, you might as well be looking at the LG C10 OLED. So I think the intended customer for the Gallery series is one who really wants to dress up their room with a very fancy, sleek looking TV. That's where its value is. Other than that, I think you really should be looking at the LG C10 OLED, which is going to bring you almost all of the same features at a much lower price. Hey everyone, thanks again for watching as always. What do you think of LG's Gallery Series OLED? Drop me a comment down below. As always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and visit digitaltrends.com for the latest tech news and reviews.